So for this experiment, the materials we will be using are hydrogen peroxide, 3%, rigatoni pasta, yeast, 2 measurement spoons, one with 1/4 of a teaspoon and one with 1/2 of a teaspoon, a measuring tape, tongs, a stopwatch, a stir stick, 3 jars, and lids for the jars with a nut on them and a hole in the middle of the nut, and a lighter.
We will also have some safety precautions for this experiment. One of the safety precautions we have is some water for us to put the lighted pasta into once it has finished burning.
And a fire extinguisher, in case anything gets too extreme.
Yes. The reason we have 3 jars for this experiment is we will be changing the amounts of yeast put into each jar. For experiment 1, we will be starting by putting the normal amount of yeast. For experiment 2, we will be putting in the less amount of yeast, and for experiment 3, we will be putting in more yeast to see what happens. To start our experiment, we will be putting in 3/4 of the way full of the jar with hydrogen peroxide.
Now, we will put 1/4 of a teaspoon of yeast into the jar.
Next, we will stir the mixture of the hydrogen peroxide and yeast until it starts to bubble up. Just like that.
Now we take the lid and place it on the jar.
Next, we will be putting on our piece of rigatoni pasta.
And now we will light the pasta and see what happens.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, light.
Okay. Ooh. Just gonna take that off. There for now. For the second experiment, we will be using 1/8 of a teaspoon of yeast.
And as you can see, our first experiment had a time of 2 minutes and 30 seconds to burn, and its final height was 3 centimeters tall.
We will be using the same amount of hydrogen peroxide for this experiment. We just need more.
All right. Now we add 1/8 of a teaspoon of yeast.
And now, again, we mix it until it bubbles up. Perfect. Put our jar lid on. Add the piece of pasta. All right, are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Looks like it isn't.
Oh, it's
Looks like it's still burning, but since
Very,
it's not that much yeast, yeah, it's still burning.
It is still burning. It's just very
very dim.
dim.
Now I need to check the height. Looks like it's reaching right now around 8 centimeters. Oh,
As you can see, with the less amount of yeast, it seems to be smoking a lot more.
a lot more and not as much flame. Doesn't look like there's actually lighting. Alright, we'll try lighting this again, see if it works. And if the
You
smoke
can-
detector goes off,
You can almost hear the flame, though. Still, yeah, it's still there.
Yep.
It's very
it is still lighting.
dim, though.
Oh,
Ooh,
now that
is
we've
quite
relit it,
high.
now it's
Whoop.
oh, the pasta has fallen out. But the height is still pretty
Very
high
high.
up. This experiment
Okay, we are going to stop the time there because that is burned
around
the
at the
pasta,
bottom of the pasta.
and place it in our jar.
So that experiment was a bit of ups and downs.
Yes. For experiment 3, we will be using double the amount of yeast. So that will be 1/2 a teaspoon of yeast, as we have here.
And for experiment 2, the time of burning was 2 minutes and 8 seconds approximately. And after the relight that we did, it got to around 6 centimeters on this scale, which means 4 centimeters because the top of the nut starts at 10 centimeters.
Okay. Now we are going to add our hydrogen peroxide to our jar.
That is
remember.
red.
All right. Now we will add our half a teaspoon of yeast. Now we are going to mix the mixture. Place the lid on. Place our pasta on. Ooh.
Oh, the mixture is overflowing a bit from the jar. That
This one is going
Can't
to
be
go
good.
quite crazy, I think.
I think this one maybe need some extreme
Okay.
safety precautions. No.
All right.
3,
2,
2, 1,
1.
light. It's not really lighting that well. This one isn't lighting too well. Oh, it looked like I got a flame there.
Keep it there for a second. I think you got a flame.
No, it's not looking like it.
Ooh, we got
Oh.
a flame.
Looks like it's just smoking a bit. If I try the light thing like I did with the last one. This one isn't going too well.
So we are going to restart while the mixture is still bubbling
Because the last one,
because
it
the last
clogged
one
the entire pipe.
from all of the foam that the mixture created. Oh,
Yeah,
there
see,
we go.
now it's lighting.
That one lit quite quickly.
Doesn't have much of a height on it.
You can hear it, but it's still lit. It's just very, very hard to see.
Yeah. Doesn't really look like it's lit anymore.
Still burning on the inside, I think.
Yeah, we'll go with the relight for this one too.
There we go.
There we go. Worked last time, works this time. Looks like the flame's gotten to around 6 centimeters. It looked like it got to around 6 centimeters before there.
Now that it's lit, it's burning quite quick.
Yeah. looks like the flame dying out a bit. Oh. Yeah, it looks like the mixture stopped bubbling. Maybe that probably has something to do with it.
With the amount
Not
of
burning.
yeast. So we will say for that one, that experiment.
Got probably around, for full time, just measuring how fast it was going down, probably would
2
take
minutes.
2 minutes 45 seconds to 3 minutes. That would be my approximate guess.
Experiment 3 overflowed quite a bit.
Yeah.